Welcome back, dear viewers, and you are still watching Good Morning Egypt. And in this segment of our program, we will talk about the situation in Gaza as the United States is reaffirming its commitment to implementing President Donald Trump's Gaza peace plan, placing the proposed international stabilization force at the heart of efforts to translate the diplomatic framework into a durable security and governance arrangement. And today we are delighted to be joined via Zoom by Dr. Ahmed Moghny, international relations expert. Good morning.
Good morning.
So before starting our interview with you, Dr. Ahmed, we are going to watch this report on the recent situation in Gaza. So stay tuned. Yes, and now we are still joined by Dr. Ahmed Moghny, international relations expert. Dr. Ahmed, what does the U.S. State Department's reaffirmation of full commitment to Gaza peace plan reveal about Washington's broader strategy for ending the conflict?
Well, it is a very important message that there is a move to implement the plan rather than advocating for it politically or just design. So with the Congress announcing $206 million for building the infrastructure and the stabilization force, this is the first signal of implementation on the ground. So stabilization mechanism to be there, starting the reconstruction and verification that each party is taking its necessary steps.
So, sir, to what extent does the plan represent a shift from short-term ceasefire diplomacy towards a comprehensive framework for Gaza post-conflict political security and economic order?
Yes, this is really enforcement on the ground, as we have mentioned, because it is a move to enforce the actual steps. So disarmament of Hamas and also withdrawal of Israeli forces and a complete, preceded by a complete ceasefire and starting the second phase, which is the reconstruction. So the first phase is political implementation. The second phase is reconstruction for further development, which will stabilize the situation in the long run.
And what are the principal objectives that Washington seeks to achieve through the full implementation of the plan?
Well, several objectives really. The first one is to monitor a ceasefire, and this is very important. Nothing will be peaceful with eruption of fire and incidents here and there. So the second objective is supporting the separation of the Israeli forces and the transfer the governance to the Palestinians. This is very important. So also supporting and training Palestinian security forces in addition to the international forces, and protecting humanitarian assistance and aid routes. So not only Rafah crossing, all the humanitarian routes that are available to improve the situation for the Palestinian people.
And sir, how does the Gaza initiative fit into President Trump's wider vision for reshaping the political and security landscape of the Middle East?
It is very important. So stability in the Middle East start with the ceasefire, clear rules of engagement, an international mandate that is sponsored by the U.S., and independent mechanism for verifying any violation, like the security forces and other measures, to make sure that there is strict adherence to the agreements that have been made.
And sir, how is Egypt leveraging its long-standing role as a key mediator between Israel and Palestinian factions to help secure compliance with the Gaza ceasefire and advance the implementation of the U.S.-backed peace plan?
Well, Egypt has traditionally, until now and in the going future, has two basic roles. The first role is humanitarian aid to the Palestinian people, and we are Arabs, and we support each other in cases of conflict, crisis, or what have you. This is the first objective that is always present. So you will find Egypt at the beginning of countries providing humanitarian aid or evacuation or medical services or anything to help the Palestinian people themselves. And this is also a support for their government for stability. The second objective is the political. So Egypt is using and balancing its political strength in the Middle East in order to proceed on the ground with the solutions that have been agreed in the early negotiation till monitoring also the implementation phase, which is coming 1 or 2 years.
And sir, what role can Egypt play in bridging the fundamental differences over the sequencing of Israeli military withdrawal and the establishment of sustainable security arrangements in Gaza?
Well, the first role is obvious, is to guarantee the ceasefire. The second role is participation also in the reconstruction phase, because this will prolong the stabilization phase and enter into a phase of improving in the infrastructure and the services for the Palestinian people, which will also help them to stabilize their government and enforce their legitimacy.
And how could Egypt contribute to the post-ceasefire phase, including Palestinian security training, humanitarian assistance, reconstruction, and the proposed civilization force, while preserving Palestinian ownership of Gaza's future governance?
We have to balance two things. So the people need improvement in infrastructure, power, and also in services, especially the two most important services that they are lacking heavily, which is medical services and also education, which are the roots of any development and reconstruction program. And the second area of the reconstruction itself is the proper housing with facilities that are important for their improvement of their life. The second area is supporting the Palestinian government to stabilize its control, improve its economic measures, and they can benefit from Egyptian support in this, of course, in addition to the third support, which is the political. And the political here has one objective. Really, in the coming phase, we need to balance the roles and responsibilities of both parties. So yes, disarmament of Hamas has to be phased, and also withdrawal of all Israeli forces has to be phased. It is not in the previous phase there was some part of deadlock. There was insistence that the complete disarmament is done first before withdrawal, and this is not logic and will not support a balanced role. So Egypt also interfered to reach a balanced situation where there is phased disarmament and also phased withdrawal.
So, sir, does the U.S. commitment indicate that Washington views Gaza conflict primarily as a security challenge, political dispute, humanitarian crisis, or a combination of all the three?
Yes, because it shifted gradually from only one focus of Israeli security to a mere balance, improvement, or allowing a balance of Palestinian security, support the Palestinian to have their own governance and control, pushing forward for the reconstruction phase, and to see a credible political horizon. This is a very important thing to be optimistic for the peace process in the Middle East. We need to all see a credible political horizon, and this is a shift that we have seen from the U.S. administration in the recent 2 months.
And why has the proposed international civilization force become such a central pillar of the U.S.-backed framework?
It is a guarantee for stability, and this is very important because when there is an operational implementation of the designed peace plan and peace process, if there is no security, it is some sort of a security collateral, and this will enforce that every party carries out its responsibilities. So we are moving now from the mediation phase, which has ended, to the implementation phase, and any implementation needs strict governance and control procedures.
And what specific responsibilities would the stabilization force be expected to undertake in Gaza?
Well, the first objective is to maintain ceasefire, and maintenance here is very important, and also to make sure that there is just oversight, act as in oversight, to make sure that there is a transition of the governance. There is disarmament is going well, and the withdrawal of Israeli forces, and the construction and reconstruction is done without any interruption or interference.
So, sir, how could the force contribute to prevent a return to large-scale hostilities?
Maintenance of this security forces to be present and visible will give some, when it is recognized and clear for the Palestinian people and all for the international community, and also it will be praised by the Israeli government, because it is a security factor actually for both parties. When people see that there is a security force that is visible and active, and this is like a plug that will make assurance for the people that the security will be reinforced.
And sir, what legal mandate would the force require, and how important would United Nations authorization or broader international legitimacy be?
The first one is the recognition of the role, and one second point is to have a clear mandate or charter. So without a mandate or charter that is announced, it has to be visible and announced, so that this charter, and the mandate, to be respected by all parties, because if it's not announced and not clear, and there is no charter and there is no mandate, respecting this security forces will be minimal. But if it's clearly mandated, it will be respected, and it will be sufficient to preserve the peace process going smoothly in the operational phase, because designing the plan has ended. Now we are in the operational phase.
And sir, how could the international community ensure that the force is perceived as a neutral stabilizing mechanism rather than as an instrument serving the interests of one party?
First of all, it's appreciation that this is a collateral, so as not to go back to a renewed war status. And it also improves the confidence in the diplomacy. So this is actually mere support of the presence of this security force increases the confidence in diplomacy, and it maintains stability in the whole Middle East, not only in Gaza.
And sir, what lessons can be drawn from previous international peacekeeping and stabilization missions when considering the deployment of such a force in Gaza?
Well, three lessons.
Yes.
What we have seen in the past needs three lessons, or let's say three objectives to be maintained. One is to have the humanitarian aid flowing in all the crosses and the access points to Gaza and all of Palestine. But in addition to that, speed up the reconstruction, because reconstruction in itself as a tool, it will maintain improvement in the quality of life of the people, and this will maintain peace in the long run. So starting with energy, infrastructure, education and medical services, which are the basic qualities that are needed for life. And the third objective, of course, the security force that is present, it will maintain that renewed war will never happen again, at least in the near future.
And sir, what would happen if Israel continues military operations despite the presence of an international stabilization mechanism?
This is not foreseeable, but actually there needs two layers. So first one, yes, is the international security forces. The second is maintaining the lobbying of all the international affiliates that are involved or were previously involved in the conflict. So the US support, of course, Egypt as a regional superpower, and in addition to countries that have put some mediation in the talks like Qatar and other countries as well.
And sir, what are the challenges that can face the implementation of the US-backed plan?
The most important thing here is balance, because if there is no balance and each party waits for the action of the second party, the operational implementation of this peace process will be slow. There needs to be trust, and there needs to be a phased implementation that is carefully monitored so that every party adheres to its role and responsibility. And the ultimate solution comes with governance or improvement in the governance in the Palestinian government.
And sir, can Washington realistically persuade Israel and Hamas to accept a mutually agreed implementation sequence?
Yes, because post-signing agreements and plans now is the implementation phase. So this is the time, at least for the coming 6 months, if there is close coordination and enforcing the actions, this will happen. And the transitional phase can be prolonged to 2 years, it can be shortened to 1 year, where every party carries its responsibilities and adhere to the signed resolutions.
Yes, finally I'd like to thank you, Dr. Ahmed Moghny, international relations expert. Thank you, sir, for being with us. And dear viewers, that's all for our first segment in Good Morning Egypt. And now we wait for our daily press review, which is expected to start shortly, and we will review the main headlines in Egyptian newspapers, so stay tuned.